Alright, good day. Welcome back to my D&D Basic Expert Companion Master Immortal Solitaire campaign. Uh, we have kind of switched gears a little bit, starting with last session. Originally, we kind of kicked things off with a little bit more of an open world sandbox thing where I let Mythic kind of help me guide what was going on and what the story was. And that's kind of shifted. It was okay. I was kind of having a little bit of fun, but I was also a little frustrated at times. So I've shifted things to run through a published module, which of course many will recognize. The Keep on the Borderlands, purchased off of DM's Guild. Um, Now, we've been kind of so last session we kind of switched gears a little bit, and that's when that's when we started this Keep on the Borderlands thing. So the party has arrived at the keep, bullshitted their way in the front because of course one of their party members is a thief, and when they got the whole question thing, what do you do for a living? Why are you here? What do you want? What is your Leocadia, who is the thief, and kind of de facto leader of the party at this point. Till something else happens, I guess. Sold herself as a sword fighter, swordswoman. So anyway, Leocadia and Rowan were the only two characters that came from the previous adventures on the border. On the coast in the town of Port Sirik. We've kind of shifted from late spring to summer, and we've, just as kind of like an in-between, we've picked up two other characters. So we have Leocadia, the first level thief, and Rowan, first level magic user. Somewhere along the way they've picked up Feistus, the first level fighter, and Eddard, a first level cleric. Okay, once again, all first level characters, and they made it here to the Keep on the Borderlands, which we've dubbed Fenris Keep. And they kind of came in through here, they kind of got not exactly the third degree, but they got questioned. They had to explain who they were. Past all the warehouses and the stables, and the watchtower, past the apartments and such. That's what the 7 is. Into the town square here, basically. And then over here is the tavern, but they need a place to stay, so they went right into the Traveler's Inn. So one thing about the Keep on the Borderlands, and I have not really read too much ahead. I only ever played a little bit of Keep on the Borderlands before. I ran a D&D 5th edition conversion for a group, which ended in a TPK in like the first encounter in the Caves of Chaos. It's absolutely brutal. It was a small group, I think, of 3 players. It didn't go well, even in 5th edition. So the one thing about Keep on the Borderlands that I did read about and have noticed while reading through a little bit of the Keep information itself is that it has a lot of details about the Keep. Even mentions people in the Keep, but it doesn't give names to anybody. For instance, the Traveler's Inn, we're just going to be calling it the Traveler's Inn. It doesn't have a name. You would think it does. Even the tavern next door does not have a name. We'll give things names. The people have no names. At one point I noticed that they mentioned the captain of the watch. He doesn't have a name. The little details like that they just didn't bother with, right? Such and including the Traveler's Inn. It even mentions here, after reading the Traveler's Inn, blah blah blah, it's a long, low structure with 5 small private rooms and a large common sleeping room for a full dozen. Servants and the like always sleep in the stables, whatever. Of course, private rooms cost 1 gold piece per night, but sleeping in the common room is only 1 silver piece per night. Cool. The innkeeper and his family live in a small loft above the inn. We know it's an innkeeper and his family. We have no names. No names whatsoever. So what we've kind of determined here is Leocadia is taking the role as the de facto leader. She's shut Feistus up because Feistus is kind of likes to talk a little bit too much and is kind of a dumbass. Not stupid, but he thinks he's in charge. He's a little dumb and arrogant in an arrogant kind of way. So they've all arrived at the Traveler's Inn, and last time they just opened the door and stepped inside. They step inside to a small counter in front of them. Everything's just, you know, made of wood. And there would be someone, you know, in the vicinity. She looks, you know, Leocadia with the others just kind of standing off to, you know, just behind her, kind of looking around. Leocadia kind of eyes the place and spots. Well, does she spot the innkeeper? We're dealing with a. What are we dealing with in terms of chaos factor? We're dealing with a chaos factor of 5. Does she spot the innkeeper? I'm going to call this very likely. Bring up our dice. That is a 38 is a yes. We needed a 75 or lower. So yes, she spots the innkeeper. A middle-aged man, the innkeeper. She kind of looks over. She's like, and he's got a broom and he's just kind of sweeping out the common room a little bit. And he looks up. Pardon me, my lady. Excuse me. And he kind of looks around frantically and he sets the broom against a wall. And he rushes back to the counter. He's kind of, you know, like a balding, you know, dude. He's kind of, you know, typical kind of like, you know, peasanty, you know, lowerish class kind of clothes, a working man's clothes, you know, what, an old tunic and an apron kind of thrown on. And he hurries to the front counter. Greetings, my lady. My apologies. You and your friends here. You are looking for a room? She goes, yes, well, I'm looking for a room. Rowan kind of looks at her and she says, my companion here and we're looking for a room, and these two, they can either have a room or they can sleep in the common area. I don't really care. As she kind of eyeing the place, which still needs to be swept. Feistis goes, I really don't care where I sleep. I really don't. She's like, that's fascinating. I really don't care either. Eddard goes, I think I would prefer a room. Very well, very well. So the innkeeper goes, my name is Tomas. Yes, let's go with that. Tomas. Tomas the innkeeper. Rooms are 1 gold piece each. Whereas if you wish to just sleep in the common room, it is 1 silver apiece per night per person. Not a problem. Whichever you prefer, however, I would like to remind you that any valuables lost or stolen here in the Traveller's Inn are not the responsibility of myself or my family. Leocadia looks at him and she says, oh, do things go missing frequently here? He's like, no. Our clientele is very good. It's just every once in a while we get someone coming through who needs a room and is a little less trustworthy. Are you saying there's someone here like that now? No, my lady. No, not at all. Everything is just fine. Now, sorry, you would like a room. Absolutely. How many nights will this be for? Will you be staying for a while? Could we just have the room, we'll say, for this evening, and then I may be extending that room for a period of time. Absolutely, my lady. How will you be paying, MasterCard or Visa? 1 gold piece, 1 gold piece for the room, please. And Leocadia is going to be interrupted by a barking dog. 1 second. Awesome. Okay, we continue here. Yep, we're continuing. Okay, so we're going to switch over to her inventory. She pays him a gold for the room for her and Rowan. She trusts Rowan. He's easily dealt with. Okay, so Leocadia, for her and Rowan to share. Eddard pays a gold piece for a room of his own. Let's bring up Eddard. Gold piece for him. Nobody really is too worried about what Feistus is doing. Feistus, however, is much more simple. Feistus is definitely gonna... Also, almost broke. Feistus needs some coin. Feistus is going to pay for the silver piece to stay the night. So we're going to break that. And bring our silver pieces up to 1. So, Feistus... Alright. Tomas takes their money. No problem. Takes the coins. Tells... looks at Feistus, says, "You, sir, you may have a seat if you wish, while I show your friends to their rooms." Feistus just kind of looks around. "I'll be in the tavern." Good, sir. Very well, very well. So, Tomas shows them the rooms. He gives Leocadia a key to their room, and gives Eddard a key to his room. So they have 2 of the 5 rooms now in this inn. Okay, so we now have a... I guess as is expected with this, we now have a home base for the characters, right? So, meanwhile, okay, so Feistus has gone off to the other room. To the tavern. What are we going to call the tavern? How about the Wyvern's Hoard? We'll even spell it like that. So, let's even put that on here. Yeah, it works for me. I'm going to throw that to the map layer. The only thing on here. Might as well make a few notes, I guess. The Traveler's Inn. Maybe I'll just do it this way. Traveler's Inn. I should send that back to the map layer. And so, Feistus goes in, and he opens the door to the tavern. The tavern, the Wyvern's Hoard, is the favorite of visitors and inhabitants of the keep alike, because I don't think there is another tavern here. According to this, we'll find out here, the food is excellent, the drink's generous and good, and always active. There we go. See, we got a die. We got some dice to roll right there. It's always 4d4 patrons at any time of the day or night. For 9 patrons in the bar. Yeah, at the tables. So there are 9 patrons when Feistus enters. It's dimly lit. And let's see here. We got... what else do we need to know about the tavern? So the barkeep... It will sometimes provide some information on the lands around the keep. There's a 50% chance that some of the patrons are men-at-arms looking for work. Are they men-at-arms looking for work? Yeah. So a D4 plus 1. Yeah. So 3 of the patrons. Okay, well that's interesting because that could come in handy. So Feistus enters and notices that half the... What did they say? How many patrons? 9 patrons at the at various tables, but there's 3 of them kind of sitting by themselves. Sitting as a group at a table, and they have armor on, shields kind of set down, swords at their sides. Each will be armed in leather armor and shield, sword and a dagger, and other desired equipment. Okay, that must be purchased by their employer. Sure. Okay. Wages for duty. Wow, that's actually going to become a possibility here. Okay, a little bit about how to engage the mercenaries. Cool. There's 10% chance that each of the following persons will be in the tavern at any given time. I'm not going to worry about that right now, because it's kind of like it's local people. Corporal of the watch, captain of the watch, bailiff, priest, some watchmen, sergeant of the guard, and a wanderer. Interesting. It looks like the possibility of an adventurer. The taverner is a normal man, as are his son and the potboy. Alright. However, apparently they can fight if need be. Place is also served by his wife, daughter, a serving wench, and a scullion. The owner and his son each have whatever. We're not going to be stealing from them, I don't think. The cellar is where the food and drink are stored, where the servants sleep. The family sleeps in the small loft. Okay. Alright, cool. So, there we go. As Phaistus enters, he just kind of looks around, brings himself up tall, his sword at his side, and he marches, toward the bar. Gets to the bar, slaps a hand down. Bartender, give me a beer. The bartender looks over. The bartender owner. The tavern's owner is named William. He is about 40 or 40, let's say 45-ish. And he looks over and he's kind of just, he's standing in front of some soapy water, and he's cleaning some of the mugs, and he looks over and he kind of sets the mug down, takes a look at it, makes sure it's cleanish, and sets it down on behind the bar. Drapes the cloth over the bar, and turns and kind of walks over to Phaistus. "G'day, sir. Could I offer you a beverage, possibly some food?" "Drink beer. I wish to have some beer. I have not had beer in many days." Excellent. We have the finest in the region. Of course, the region is, the keep itself. We get what we can, but it's as fresh as we can get it, and it's always tasty. Nobody's yet complained. "Don't care. Give me a beer." Very well. And he goes back to a cask and pours a beer for Phaistus, and brings it back and sets it down. And goes, I love how they separate the difference between ale and beer. An ale is a style of beer, as opposed to an ale is as opposed to a lager. Not entirely sure what they're trying to get across there. But whatever the case, Phaistus said beer. We're going to go with beer. That is a whopping silver piece. The Phaistus absolutely will pay for his beer. As the mug is set down, Phaistus grabs hold of the mug and just takes a big draw on the beer and puts it back down. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Excellent. I'm very happy that you're happy, sir. It will still be one silver piece. Ah! And Phaistus reaches into his belt pouch and fishes out a silver and flip, thumb flips it onto the counter, onto the bar itself. There you go. I will definitely have some more. This second, or would you like to wait until you finish that one? As soon as I finish that one, keep them coming. Very well, sir. Is there anything else I can get you for now? Nah. And Feist takes another long draw on the beer. Sets it down, and he kind of throws himself onto a stool. Drops his backpack as he's kind of hopping onto the stool. Just lets it drop onto the floor. Same with his, wait, is Feist carrying a shield? I think he is. Yes, he is carrying a shield. So yeah, he doesn't have a lot. He has a backpack, which really has nothing in it. Feist is pretty much like armor, weapons, backpack, and a water skin, and that's pretty much all. I think I rolled poorly when it came to his coin, and that's why things are so. That's why things are like that. So, why he doesn't have much. So, Feistus, kind of makes do as much as he can. So shortly afterwards, while Feistus is enjoying his beer, the rest of the party come find him. All right. The entire party comes in. They've mostly kind of left their adventuring gear in their rooms now. Feistus, of course, is not that type. Again, they walk in. Leocadia looks over, and Feistus, his shield is lying flat on the ground. The backpack kind of tossed on the floor as well, and she just shakes her head. Fighters. Let's get a table. And as they're kind of entering, do the men-at-arms kind of eye them up, being like, ooh, there's a possibility of an employer? I'm thinking that is very likely. Nope, no they don't. The men-at-arms pay no attention to whatsoever to them. They're just like, dumbass fighter and a bunch of travelers that have entered. They're not paying attention. Okay. The party they get a table, dragging poor Feistus away from the bar. I was going to say Leocadia is feeling generous, but Leocadia is not overly generous. She's got her eye on the ball. Her goal is retirement in luxury. However, Rowan is young and naive, and he orders a round for the table. He's trying to show off a little bit because he's got some coin. So, So a gold piece will go quite a bit. For 4, it's a silver piece each for a beer. He's probably too young to understand the importance of tipping. Feistus just doesn't give a shit, I think. So they get around for the table. And they sit there and discuss. They're not planning on going out anywhere today. So I think we can kind of bring this scene a little bit to an end here. They've arrived at Fenris Keep. We're going to be moving on to scene 16, I think. And we're going to bring the chaos factor. Do we bring that up, down? I think we bring that down. Scene 16, I think, is going to revolve around exploring the keep. But we are still going to follow Mythic's rules, and we're going to test that. That is a 9, so the scene will go off as normal. So, exploring the keep. Over the next day. The following day. the following day, they go out exploring the keep. So I'm not gonna kind of make this fairly simple rather than kind of going through every interaction here. So to explain the keep here, they begin to take a look-see, and so we know where the main gate is. We know the flanking towers for the the bowmen and such. 3 isn't actually listed, but this says entry yard, so I'm pretty sure that's this area, which we kind of talked about last time. We have the common stables. We have a warehouse here. This over here is the bailiff's tower. Everything with a 7 is a private apartment.
Okay.
7A belongs to the jewel merchant. They have fighters, I guess that. And 7B is a priest. Apparently, potentially for hire. Number 8 is the smithy and armorer. Number 9, we talked about a lot of this lesson. This is the provisioner. So this is pretty much, there's some very basic weapons, no armor, no mounts, but otherwise he kind of has a variety of different adventurers' gear. He will also purchase gear at half price. Okay, you know what? I'll bet the fat 50% of listed price is exactly where the D&D trope of selling collected adventuring gear, like swords and whatever, that you take off kobolds, I'll bet that's exactly where that came from, was this adventure right there. Number 10, right next door to the provisioner, is the trader. So this guy deals in all kinds of things: armor, weapons, large quantities of goods like salt, spices, cloth, rare woods, etc. He's interested in obtaining furs, which, some of this information they definitely could have found out as they're going around. Number 11 is a loan bank. Can change money or gems for a 10% fee. The bank will also keep a person's wealth stored safely at no charge if it is left for at least 1 month. Otherwise, there's a 10% fee. Loans at an interest rate of 10% per month can be obtained for up to 5 gold pieces with no security deposit. Over 5 gold pieces requires some item of at least twice the value of the loan. Okay, nobody's getting a loan. 5 gold pieces goes nowhere, right? Like it's a decent amount of money for peasants probably, but it's not really a lot of. It's not much for an adventurer. That's not going to buy much for them. Unless they get into real dire straits, they're not going to the loan shark. Once again, there's a man-at-arms always there, armed, and there's some information. The bank also has various items for sale as well. So displayed items that they've probably poked their heads in and looked at. So carved ivory tusk, a silver cup, a crystal decanter, a jade ring, like an iron box with a secret lock. Okay, cool. Like some interesting stuff. But then there's further stuff beyond, which we're not going to worry too much about. Number 12. Where's number 12 in here? Am I missing number 12? Why do I not see number 12? Alright, is everything here listed properly? Maybe I'll just take a quick look here. There's the cape. Trying to find the... Where is the keep's map in here? Here we go. 12. Yeah, okay, so some of this stuff is not done. Oh, you know what? Even the map is not quite right, but I kind of like the way some of them have done things. So we are going to make some modifications here. We'll go over here. This here absolutely is 3. This over here absolutely is 12. Cool. Let's go back here. We'll stop when we kind of hit to 18 because beyond that's probably not going to be accessible, I think. And that's kind of in 18 is. Let me go back to the map here. We'll do this again. We'll go. This here is 18. Alright, where was I here? Going through the map. Okay, so 12 is the watchtower, right? So 12 is the watchtower. 13 is the fountain square. So there's a large gushing fountain in the center of the square. We know what 14 is. It's the inn. We know 15 is the Wyvern's Hoard Tavern. 16 is the guild house. So that might be of interest. So when members of any guild, merchants, craft, artisans, etc. travel to this area, they are offered the hospitality of this 2-story building. Okay, we're talking craftsman guild, not thieves guild kind of thing. No problem. 17 is the chapel. Should we need to worry about that? We will add some more details or check on details. And then we hit here to the inner gatehouse. So this stone structure itself is like a small fort. The southern portion is only about 15 feet high plus battlement, and the rear part is some 30 feet tall plus battlement. There's arrow slits on the southern section, of course, and along the walls of the 20-foot wide, 10-foot high passage through to the north. The passage slopes upward towards the inner courtyard. The heavy gates are double bound with iron and spiked. Okay, there are 6 guards on duty at all times, plus 1 officer on call. No visitors allowed beyond this point except by invitation or unless he or she has special permits. The party doesn't have any of that. So beyond that, they got no access. So they kind of get a sense of. So for this day, they get a sense of kind of wandering around the around Fenris Keep. What services are offered and what and where they can both buy and sell stuff. Go with stuff. Cool. They end their day once back. Well, they end their day once again back in the tavern, which I should probably be moving this thing around. So they end their day back in the tavern. So, back in the tavern, we're going to roll for patrons again. We know it's 44 patrons. 12 patrons in the bar. 50% chance. Yes, and 1d4 plus 1. 4 of which are men-at-arms looking for work. Now I'm just going to roll the one thing here to see if there's anybody else. It's a 10%... Actually, you know what? It says 10% chance for any particular person. Let me reread that here. So there is a 10% chance that each of the following persons will be in the tavern at any given time. Okay, let's just kind of roll for it here. 10% chance Corporal of the Watch. Nope. Captain of the Watch. Nope. Of the Bailiff. Nope. The Priest. Nope. 2 to 4 Watchmen. Nope. Sergeant of the Guard. That's 100. Nope. That's the only 00 roll that could be a no. And a Wanderer. Ooh, close, but no. Nobody else is there. The other patrons are just regular patrons who live and work in the keep. Of various sorts, right? So they go in. Each of them is going to need to purchase some food and drinks. So kind of looking at this with a beer in mind, plus well, let's see here. So they they get food and drinks. So and it's Tommaso. Tommaso's wife is sorry, not Tommaso. We never did learn the bartender's name. No, William. William's wife. Ethel. Yeah. Serves them that evening. Sure. One thing I did not do, actually, was deal with the end of that scene. Completely forgot to do with that. So we do have some additional people and such to add. We have no more threads. However, we do have some additional people that we can add. Owners of... Oops. Owners of the Traveler's Inn. And we also have William and Ethel. Oops. Owner of... I know that's kind of annoying a little bit, but of the Wyvern's Hoard Tavern. So we need to add them in there. That's the we didn't do. We did the chaos factor, but we didn't deal with the characters list. There's no new threads yet, but that's okay. We'll get there. Okay, let's figure out some costs, because the economy of this is going to be important. Leocadia is going to need to purchase, meal and drinks. We're definitely going to be going. I believe we're going to be going with the roast fowl. So she takes the roast fowl plus a small beer, leaving her with some silver left over. Rowan, I think, will probably go the same route. The roast fowl plus beer. He just kind of ends up, getting some additional change there. Rowan actually has a good amount of cash. Being apprentice apparently pays well. Feistus, on the other hand, Feistus is coming down to the last of his gold. Was a silver for the beer, and Feistus is the type who's going to be hungry, but he doesn't have a lot of money. So he's going to go with the fowl. He can go with the roast joint for 2 gold pieces, but that's a little much. He's going to run out of cash real quick because he still needs to pay for his room or board anyway, his place to sleep tonight. Eddard. I feel Eddard might be the type to be drinking wine. How do we calculate EP again? Because it's 1 EP. Is EP a fifth of a gold piece? Is that what it was? I swear in I know Electrum pieces still kind of exist. Sorry, it's half a gold piece. 2 EP equals a gold piece. So, okay, so where were we? He was going to order a wine for an EP. He'll have this stew for an EP. So essentially, it's a full gold piece for him to eat. Cool. So they settle in and discuss. They start kind of talking amongst themselves as well as kind of speaking with some of the patrons in the inn, and start asking about the area. Leocadia, Physis is the lad one. He starts talking about how they're there to, we're here to kill the monsters, kill the kobolds and the orcs and the goblins and the whatever else is out there in the Borderlands and beyond. We are here to make ourselves a name and be rich and drink and whore until we can't drink or whore anymore, I guess. Can he learn a rumor? How is this going to work with rumors? So, information from inhabitants of the keep might be gained by player characters who may give one rumor at random to each player starting information. We kind of did that a little bit, but not a rumor to each. Other rumors may be key to other persons in the keep, for example. So if you talk with the taverner, you might reveal rumors 18 and 19. He will give the true rumor if his reaction is good. Do not give out all rumors. You may add whatever false rumors you wish. Okay, we're not going to be doing that necessarily. We might. We'll see. We're going to flip back over here. Nope, that's the map. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. The keep itself. Fenris Keep. Why is it still listed like this? We should fix that. Back in Fenris Keep. So, they speak, and do they learn anything? Do they learn anything about the area? Now, what do they know again? The rumor that we have that they already know. They've heard these rumors. I'm just going to highlight these. So they know they've heard, beware the eater of men, don't get lost. Tribes of different creatures live in different caves. So they know there's caves, and they start kind of talking about going searching for the caves. Locals in the tavern. To vanquish monsters and take their treasure. Very murder hobo-ish. Do they hear a rumor? I will simply say it is a... I'm going to say it actually is very likely. I think it's very likely they'll hear a rumor just because they're talking about it and they're new to town and the locals may want to tell them. 82. No, they hear no rumors. The locals kind of clam up a little bit, don't really reveal any additional information out there, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you're going looking for the caves, huh? Yeah, sure. You'll you do that." Don't seem to care, and don't offer any additional information about the caves. Do the men-at-arms take interest in them this time? So again, now they've heard, so I'm thinking it's likely they're looking for work. Physis is kind of loud and obnoxious, they may kind of be like, this dude, I don't know. So I'm just going to say likely that they've taken notice of the party. Again, we're chaos factor of 4. 33, yes, they do. So how many men-at-arms do we have here? We have 4 men-at-arms. Probably three of them were the ones that were in the tavern yesterday, I'm thinking. But 4 of them kind of stand up. They're not all armed or anything. They probably have a dagger on their side, but nothing really else. So they kind of wander over, and they start dragging chairs over. They're like, "Mind if we join you? We hear you're looking for the Caves of Chaos." "Yes, we're looking for the Caves of Chaos. We absolutely are looking for the Caves of Chaos. We shall destroy everything in the Caves of Chaos and take all of their coin." You don't say. Yeah, the 4 of you, there's a lot of dangerous creatures out there. But why don't you fine folk think about buying us a round of beers, and we'll have a chat about what we know, and perhaps we could tag along if you're interested in a little additional muscle. Leo Katie just kind of nudges Rowan. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I can do that. Ethel, somebody over there, can we get 4 beers for the gentlemen who have joined us, making, it really difficult to find room at this table?" And they serve some beers. So once again, so what do we got here? There's 4 of them, so Rowan pays for the beers. And the okay, so they try to sell the party on their services. Not a problem. This is definitely a potential here. I think it's actually a good idea to take these. So 4 men-at-arms. The men-at-arms themselves, though. Here we go. Wages for duty include all gear purchase, room and board, and 1 silver piece per day for service. So they would need rooms, they would need meals, they would need whatever. All gear purchased, so whatever they need here. Each will have leather armor and a shield, a sword, and a dagger. Yeah, sure. All of their desired equipment must be purchased by the employer. So whatever else they feel they might need, but if the party may have a variety of things. This could include missile weapons and dungeon gear. Or the party could potentially just deal with some of that. And anyway, wages for duty include all gear purchased, room and board, and 1 silver piece per day of service. If no gear is purchased, the cost rises to a gold piece per day. Note that a mere spear or minor equipment is considered as no gear. So basically we're talking about outfitting these guys. So we might be talking a gold piece per day rather than outfit these guys, because that's going to be a lot more significant in terms of coin if they only end up needing them for a few days or something. It's always necessary to buy mercenaries a drink before discussing terms of service. Sure, which they have done. So the question is, do they want to hire them? The mercs seem willing. Not a problem. Now they'll also need to pay for their rooms tonight too, right? And during the negotiations, the mercenaries kind of make it clear they're okay sharing rooms, but they would need 2 rooms. At the inn tonight, which I believe would take up almost all of the rooms in total at the inn tonight. Chances are these guys probably are already there. They're just asking for their room and board and such to be paid for. I think that seems fair. But so basically, we're talking at 2 gold pieces a day. Sorry, we're talking a gold piece and a half per day per man-at-arms. So, throw in the food and such like that. We probably are talking about. Yeah, we're going to be talking a lot more than that because they're going to want breakfast. They're going to want lunch and dinner, and they're going to probably milk that for all it's worth. So Leocadia, thinks about it. She's like, "Yeah, we could probably use you. You any good with those swords on that we see on your waists?" "Milady, we can take care of ourselves just fine, and we'll take care of you. Perhaps you would like us to, share your bunk with you. Well, I will share you." But she's like, "Yeah, think again. That's not going to happen. You know the way to the Caves of Chaos?" "Yes, my lady. We have been there before. We know the way. We have been to the valley where you will find the Caves of Chaos." "All right, very well. 1 gold piece a day. You guys outfit yourselves. Anything you need, you buy. We're good with that. You do as you're told, and you each get a. I don't know. Do they get a share of the treasure? I think they probably do, and you get an equal share of the treasure. With an equal share of the treasure, I think you can pay for your own room and board. Are they going to go with that? Are they going to go for that? Let's just call it the beginning of negotiations, and we'll give it a 50-50 here. No, hell to the no, they turn that down. Absolutely. They're not just turning it down, they're insulted. And I'm thinking because they're insulted by the offer, they'd be like, you know what? I think we can find other adventurers to work with. We're good. And they stand up and leave. So they turn it down and leave the table, saying, so no mercs. All right, so no mercenaries. She tried to get clever, went very poorly. And there you go. So they return to the Travelers Inn for that evening. Everyone's going to. It's Rowan's turn to foot the bill for the room. Him and Leocadia. They're not sleeping together, but she's kind of watching over him. We got a silver piece from Feistus. Eddard himself is going to require a gold piece for his rooms. Either gonna burn through money pretty quickly here. They spend the evening in the inn again, and with plans to set off to find the Caves of Chaos in the morning. Okay. Scene number 17. I'm going to say the Chaos Factor went up there because they weren't... The whole thing with the mercenaries didn't really go over very well. On the road to the Caves of Chaos. The next morning. Okay. Alright, so what do we have? Do these guys need some stuff before they head out? They're going to be setting out. Nobody's got any food, I believe. Correct. Feistus has no food, I'm positive. Alright. So, they need some food for they need to buy some food. So they gotta hit the provisioners. Provisioners was at number 9. I believe that is correct. Provisioners. The provisioners. Okay. What's it called here? The provisioners store. I believe. What do we know about the provisioner? Normal man. He has a wife and 2 children that live in an apartment above. Well, it says in the place, but I'm guessing that's above. Cool. Okay. Oh, I think the provisioner needs a name, and I'm actually going to turn to Xanathar's, I think. Not the right book. There we go. Xanathar's Guide. Let's give him a name. Well, let's do something different. Let's give him a Spanish name here. We'll roll on the Spanish table. To get a 40. Francisco, the provisioner. Francisco and his wife. Let's just do the same thing. She can also be, with a Spanish name. 92. Tomasa. Okay, that's just making things confusing. We're gonna reroll that. 16. Beaches. Store is called, very simply, Francisco's Provisions. Yay, it's extremely exciting. So we're going to switch over to the map here. Francisco's Provisions. They attend the store. The store itself. This low building houses a shop where all of the equipment needed for dungeon adventures, as listed in the rulebook, are sold. He does not sell weapons other than spears, daggers, arrows, and bolts. He has a few, 7, shields, but does not sell armor or mounts. He will direct any persons interested in such items to the trader next door. Prices are shown in the rules. He will buy equipment from adventurers at 50% of listed price. He's a normal man, blah, 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 blah. The rest of it doesn't really matter. They enter the shop, and Francisco, probably only in his 30s. He has 2 young children, so I'm thinking, maybe 30 or so. Sorry, it's so both in their early 30s. 2 young children. I need to go beat a dog. Okay, things continuing here. Francisco greets them as they enter the shop, which is fairly packed. It's a decent sized shop, but it's not really large, and it's just like narrow corridors, or narrow aisles, kind of going through with stuff everywhere. Everything an adventurer could want. And what they're really looking for is some provisions, I believe. Specifically provisions in a provision store, yes. But food. Rations. So they each need to pick up food for the day. This is going to be a problem for our friend Feistus, who is pretty much broke and can't afford rations. Leocadia. Leocadia has a longbow. Does she still have enough arrows? 14 arrows. She's not bad. She's not going to worry too much about it at the moment. So Leocadia, however, her backpack still has plenty of room. She needs some rations. So she's going to get some standard rations. I'm pretty sure the rations are sold per week. She doesn't have any, does she? No. Okay. Standard rations are 5 gold a piece. Sorry, 5 gold in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just throw that in the backpack. Maybe it was better to look at this one in the player's handbook, because I think it was broken down a little bit better. Maybe not. Yeah, unpreserved food. One person for 1 week. So, 7 uses, and it's 200 encumbrance. Okay. She has a torch. She has 3 torches. Okay. Leocadia has some food, just in case they're going to be away for a little bit. Rowan follows suit. Also purchasing rations. Eddard. Not necessarily happy to be eating rations on the road because they're dry. It's like hardtack kind of stuff, right? And there we go. He's got some rations. Feistus is the problem. Feistus goes to buy some rations and he opens up his coin purse. He's like, I'm a little short. Leocadia looks up at the tall fighter and she's like, I wouldn't call you short. Not even by our standards. No, I mean, I'm hungry and I've got no coin. Okay. Alright. You need to be able to eat. Otherwise you're not going to be able to fight. I will buy your rations for you. You are going to owe me. Yeah, okay. Fair. So he's going to get some rations. But Leocadia's going to pay the price. Okay, we're also going to do this. Ode 5 GP from Feistus. So we know. Now, back at, we do not have. There's currently not a party treasure. Oh, there is a party treasure, 100 copper pieces, which has not really been split up at all. Actually, I believe that party treasure was specific to our original party members here, actually. So let's just kind of shift this a little bit. Leocadia should have 50 copper pieces, and so should Rowan. Their coin encumbrance is a little high there, but that's okay. 50 copper pieces, they can maybe pay for some of their stuff in copper going forward. Either way, they outfit themselves. They buy rations. Feistis O's. Leocadia 5 GP for his rations. And they set out on the road by mid-morning. With a general idea as to how to find their way to the Caves of Chaos. They're told that they need to follow the path. They do have quite a long walk. It's going to take them, a few hours to get there. So each of these squares is listed as 5 kilometers, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 kilometers, or sorry, 25, 30 kilometers. The rest, the last several kilometers are through bush, making their way to the Caves of Chaos. They've been told how to get there. So, how does the adventure here structure? So, here we go. Adventurers outside the keep. After the group establishes itself and obtains equipment, they will either follow clues gained in conversation with residents of the keep or set out exploring on their own, or both. Naturally, they will be trying to find the Caves of Chaos, but this will take some traveling, and in the meantime, they might well run into more than they can handle. Thus, there are 2 maps. An area map for use when the party searches for the caves, and the Caves of Chaos map, which is a dungeon level map, which we do have in here for both. Take a look at the area map. So the realm is to the west off the map. Right. The road branches one path to the keep on the Borderlands, the other leading off into the forsaken wilderness beyond the Ken of Law. Note that most features are unnamed, so you can name them as suit your campaign, whatever. Inspection of the map will also show that there are 5 special areas. 5 special areas. Okay, maybe I should take a look at that. I don't see 5 special areas listed on here anywhere. Maybe it's on the Caves of Chaos map. Okay, so the area map encounters. I may need to find a better, because this thing is printed in such a way that... Oh, wait, 4, 2... 3... I don't see 1 anywhere. I'm going to grab a highlighter just so I can find these easier later, because they kind of blend in with the map. A little too well, actually. One, there we go, it's in the swamp. So, nothing that's actually on the road as something that they can potentially... None of the special encounters, anyway. But, there are other things I believe that can happen. So, let's see here. They set it on the road. Okay. none of the special things they're going to run into. The normal movement rate is 1 square per hour. Surging, that makes sense because it's about 5 kilometers. Three squares walking? No, I think it's going to be less than that. So I think it would be walking in the 10s is at the rate of 1 square per hour. Walking down in the forest at 2 squares per hour. I'm not going to worry too much about this. I'm just going to kind of follow. Basically, we're looking at, it's 5 kilometers. That's about an hour's normal walk. If they start to search, we'll double that probably. Camping outdoors overnight. Okay. Nothing will bother the party when camped outdoors unless they are within 6 squares of a numbered encounter area. For each square they are within the 6 square range, there's a 1 in 6 chance that the monsters there will seek them. So at 6 squares, there's a 1 in 6 chance. At 5, there's a 2 in 6 chance. At 4, see, and this is using squares, but I'm not using squares here. So maybe I should have scanned a proper copy of this map. But instead, I think we're going to go with our standard wilderness encounter, random encounter rules. Each day, and should they camp out overnight, there is the 1 in 6 chance, potentially, that they will come into contact with some kind of a random encounter. Does this have a random encounter table for the wilderness? Monster attacks, stuff, wandering monsters, yeah. There are wandering monster tables. They are leveled. Oh, I just saw something. Emptied areas. This has to do with the Caves of Chaos. When monsters are cleared out of an area, the place will be deserted for 1 to 4 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, so. Alright, cool. Do the wandering monster tables make sense for the... Yeah, I mean, these definitely make sense. So I guess the way this is broken down for wandering monsters is based on the party level. It's kind of brutal, too, because the numbers of things can be nuts. I mean, the highest is 3 to 18 halflings. Now, they're lawful. Just because they're a wandering monster doesn't mean they have to be evil or dangerous. But 3 to 12 skeletons? That would wipe out a party. Alright. We're going to... I think we're just going to kind of end things there for today. And we'll get to them finding the Caves of Chaos next time. Alright, take it easy.